Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dan York, and this is the York Woods. And today, we're not splitting, we're not cutting, we're going to be planting. Just got back from the local nursery, and they had a bunch of trees, shrubs, bushes, everything clearanced out. I've got some spruce trees. I've got some eastern redbuds. Today, we're going to put 25 trees in the ground, shrubs, trees, bushes, whatever you want to call them. We're going to put those in the ground today. Got to figure out where I'm going to put them. It was too good of a deal to pass up, so stay with me. And we're going to get back to Mother Nature on Mother's Day. So it's the early morning. Been walking around trying to figure out where I'm going to put these trees at. When you live in the middle of a woods, it's not just easy just to plop a tree down and yeah, it looks good there. Got to try to figure out what area is going to look the best. And kind of been walking up and down my driveway, sipping on my coffee. I think I'm going to put it next to my driveway. Kind of a nice little path coming in when I come up the driveway. Have these decorative redbud trees. They do have a real pretty leaf and a pretty bud on them that does kind of a purple pink when you pull up. Nice little decoration coming up to the cabin. Got to put them about 15 feet or so apart. They grow about 20 to 30 feet tall, and I think that is going to be here on the side of the drive. I did mow it already this morning just to kind of get an idea, so I'm going to lay these out and see if it is something where, as I'm pulling up, that's the look I want. It's not like when you put a tree in the ground, it just you can move it anytime you want. This isn't so, obviously I don't like them, I can cut them down, but they're pretty. So stay with me. I'm going to get these unloaded off the back of the truck. We'll figure out where we're going to put the spruce after the fact, but these trees are something that got a really good deal on them. They the local nursery was selling them. They were clearancing them out, and they're all real healthy trees. The local dealers or local nursery was clearancing them out for $10 a piece, and they're 6 feet tall. And yeah, let's see. I'm looking at it right now. Let's see what we can do. Stay with me. So this is the area I mowed. Obviously, there's some already well-established trees here. Got a couple of maples, a couple of buckeye trees floating around in here. I mean, it is Ohio after all. Got to have some buckeye trees. So this is the area I mowed. Again, spacing is supposed to be roughly about 15 feet apart. And what you're seeing is the drive up to the cabin. They like wet feet. So this area is a watershed for a different part of the property. So I think this will be a good area to put these in. They roughly get 6 to 8 hours of sun a day, which is what they like. So let's get to work on these redbud trees, eastern redbud trees to be exact. And we'll lay them out here and we'll see what they look like. Put a comment below. Tell me what you think too. So these are the dwarf spruce. So these are the dwarf spruce. Say that 5 times fast. I couldn't. Abby's going to climb up into the bed of the truck and get the other spruce. They're also dwarf spruce, but they're a little bit more mature. Oh, I forgot about my one tree. And she just realized that she got a decorative willow as well. So these are a little bit bigger ones. They're probably 3 years old or so. Tell you, I'm not hating where these are going out right now. I'm not really hating like this. So like I said earlier, one thing you're going to want to do is lay out your entire layout, because it may change once you start putting trees, bushes, shrubs. It may start changing where you want to present the plant. So we'll finish getting unloaded. You want to grab your little willow there? Like a curly leaf willow or something like that. So walking these off, I want to put about, again, 15 feet in between them. So that's about a stride of about 5 of my strides. But the first one's going to be about 3 strides away. So I want to be away from this hickory a little bit. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to be about right here. Pull up a little bit. It's good. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can put one there, straight out from the tailgate if you want. 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. So obviously this may not be the final location of each of the trees. We'll go back through and resort by the way they look. We'll rotate them, turn them around, straighten up the line so it's a nice, crisp, clean line. I'll put dots down where I'm going to dig my holes. But as you can see, what turned out to be just a little grassy area, it's a nice little tree line. All right, so I have all 8 of the Eastern Redbuds lined up here. Like I said earlier, I want to put them 14 to 15 feet apart, and I want to keep them an even distance from the driveway. That way, as they mature, they get about 20 feet wide or so. I think they get about 20 feet tall, and about 15 feet apart is the recommended spacing. So I want to make sure they're far enough away from the driveway that if I do drive in, I'm not having a tree hanging over the top of the drive. So to get that spacing, I'm going to run a tape measure from the driveway out, start a line. We got a 100-foot tape here. I'll run down, then I'll just spray paint every 15 feet or so, 14, 15 feet as I go down through. Let's get started. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. So about 12 feet off the driveway, I think, is where I'm going to start. Get my can of spray paint, just something highly visible. And that is where tree 1 will go. Just a cheap fiberglass tape that I got off of Amazon. Hook this someplace here. That's about as good as any. Guess that wasn't as good as any. All right, so this actually ended up being right at about 100 feet with the way I've got it set up right now. So I'm going to measure out a few more, make sure my lines are straight, and then we'll see if we can start getting to digging. So I took my first red dot, put my tape inside of it, stuck a stick down inside to the center of the hole. That way I can measure out 15 feet. And 12 feet from the driveway. Second red dot's going to go right there. The stick's where the first red dot is. Tree's at the second red dot. To get to my third, again, I'm roughly 12 feet from the driveway there, and I want to make sure my spot is right. So we're going to run this Try to run it right across that other red line or as close as possible. Red dot, should say. About right there. Now I'm just going to repeat this step until I'm done. All right, so now with the trees out of the way, I've got my painted dots. You kind of see every so often now I'm going to set the trees on top of those dots and see if I like the lineup. Yeah, so far they all line up nice and straight. I do like the line. They may be off just a little bit one way or the other, but it's trees that are naturally going to be off a little bit one way or the other even as they grow. So this, I think we're ready to start digging. So if you were curious as to what these will look like when they mature, there is the picture that's on the card on it. They're from Expert Gardener. These are native plants to Ohio. Very low maintenance. Once they get them in the ground, water them a few times, it should be fine as long as we don't get into a drought. And then they also help support pollinators, so bees love them too. So as you saw when I first started digging, my first scoop down, I caught a root. I didn't have my outriggers out and it about pulled the whole backhoe and everything up over the top of it. So not a bad idea if you are doing, if you are digging somewhere near a tree. One, I know there's no electrical or any kind of water around here, but put your outriggers out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back from those trees, from those dots, come back in and make sure I place this tree right where I had that first red dot at. Good. It's going to miss the root once I dig this a little deeper. It'll miss the root, but that's 1 of 8. Is there anything else I can knock over? Hold that thought. I know. Yeah, I know. I've been motoring around for 3 years too. It's finally rotten enough. It popped off. This is kind of fun. I'm going to have to do more. I'm going to have to find more of them. But for now, let's get back to planting these trees. As Abby's showing you here, holding the camera, I've got a lot of clay. So once I get these in the ground, I may run into town and get some topsoil just to give them a head start on not having to fight through all that clay to grow. See you in a bit. All right, so after a way too long trip into town to get stuff, finally got some topsoil. Now I got 30 bags, thinking that should be plenty. Maybe too much, may not be enough, I'm not sure, but I wasn't about to get a bunch more. Just getting these 30 bags was hard enough to get somebody to apparently comprehend what topsoil versus mulch is. So I think for today's purposes, get this put in, leveled out, get some mulch after I water these, because there is some of these, like this particular one, this is one on the very end. It's probably the driest. We'll get this watered in, maybe put some more topsoil on, and I'll come back for these clumps. I got something for these clumps. I got a place for those to go. All right, so you kind of get the gist of everything. I'm going to knock the other 6 or so out, and we'll catch you guys back here at the very end. All right, well, I'll rake these out, but it's about a bag per. And this is cypress mulch that I'm putting on here. So mulch, in my opinion, is one of those things you can't put enough on. Once you level it all out, it looks nice. And the more you put on, the less you have to put on later. All right, folks, well, that's pretty much going to be a wrap for today. I'm tired. It's hot out. If you like this kind of content, hit the like, subscribe. Feel free to leave comments. Love to read them. It's going to be a kind of a fun little beautiful row once this is all said and done. I'll finish the cleanup tomorrow. And at the end of the day, happy Mother's Day. It's not always about cutting and splitting. Sometimes you got to put one in the ground to feel good about harvesting one from the ground. Don't forget to keep Mother Nature happy. Make her beautiful. Keep your property beautiful. Keep yourself beautiful. Keep Mother Nature beautiful. Keep yourself beautiful. Have a wonderful day.